What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. Now, with this video, we're going to be jumping into the Trial of Magneto, issue number 4. And if you haven't been keeping up with this line, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on in this line. And really, so far, we have seen a lot happening in this line. Most of us really believing that this was going to focus around Magneto. It has heavily been focusing all around Wanda, her appearing to be traversing this other realm, while simultaneously part of her is down on Earth, down on Krakoa. And with her resurrection, we see 3 kaijus come out of the ocean and they start attacking the island. And so with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 4 of 5, we are coming to a close. But right now it is showing us what happened on earlier in the day, at the moment of Wanda's resurrection. Because the 5, they had every intention of resurrecting her all on their own, having an earlier memory of her, having a earlier backup of her. But before they could resurrect her, we see Wanda resurrect herself. And with her resurrection, the 5 let her know that there are a ton to explain, and they don't really have a lot of time to get into the details. And so getting Wanda up, getting her dressed, they send her off. And we saw Wanda make her appearance to everybody, and she gets her opportunity to talk to Tommy and Billy. And for everybody, this is very hard for anybody to comprehend what is currently going on, because Tommy saw her body. He knows for a fact that she was gone. And so while it's great that Wanda is back, she's resurrected, she's come back from the dead, there is still a murder at play. There is still somebody responsible for what has happened here. And Tommy and Billy, they let Prodigy and iBoy know that magic can't technically be ruled out of this, because there are some metals that have magical properties. And so while the autopsy may have resulted in some kind of supernatural magnetism that could have very easily had anything to do with magic, and because of this, because they didn't take this into consideration, they're gonna have to go back to square one on their investigation. That means that Magneto is not necessarily their prime suspect anymore. And so with the 2 of them making their way back to North Star, they divulge this information and let them know that they're gonna have to start over from square one. But North Star also believes that they should be contacting Excalibur, with this having potential magical aspects to it. The expertise of Excalibur could be hugely beneficial in figuring out who did this. And while they are discussing all of this information, a terrible tremor happens throughout the entire island. And that is because they are in the midst of a Kaiju attack. Now, with the appearance of these Kaijus, Wiccan automatically can tell them that he feels this kind of magic. He knows what this is. It is far too coincidental that as soon as Scarlet Witch gets the run over of her greatest hit memories, that these kaijus appear out of nowhere and start attacking the island. Now, Tommy and Billy, recognizing that they gave her the greatest hits, they kind of have an understanding of what is going on right here, telling Prodigy that they need to take Scarlet Witch and they need to take her somewhere privately so they can have a conversation with her. And so with them dashing off into the distance, we pick up elsewhere in another realm, and we have old Wanda fighting against her young self. And with old Wanda just absolutely dominating this fight, and our young Wanda not able to fight back in any capacity, she has to ask why. Why are you doing this? Why do you continue to put me through this punishment? And the old Wanda lets her know that she needs to let go of everything. All of the guilt, all of the turmoil, it has been festering inside of her for all of these years. And now with her mind fragmented, with bits of her mind all over the place, that brokenness has manifested these kaijus. These are of her own creation. And if she does not get a hold of herself, it will put all of mutant kind in jeopardy. Now, down on Krakoa, the Living Wanda, she is currently having issues coming to terms with everything that she has seen in her greatest hits. Not only that, the boys, they divulge some information, letting her know that she has taken her guilt and she has created these physical constructs with it, because right now she is having an absolute mental meltdown, not being able to come to terms with everything that they put in her head, not being able to come to terms with her creations that are destroying all kinds of parts of the island right now. And her boys, they plead with her, letting her know that this is why everyone is terrified of you. This is why everyone runs from you. And we have done nothing except be here your entire life and do our best to make you somebody, to defend you at all costs. And telling her that she refuses to take accountability for everything that she has done throughout the years. And because of that, these kaijus are manifestations of all of that. And in the other realm, old Wanda is telling her it is time to forgive herself. With her finally coming to terms with these things, we see a power release. We see the three Wandas, past, present, and future. And this is her accepting. This is her forgiving. This is her reuniting with herself. And we see the past, the present, and the future. They make their way down to Krakoa and they battle these kaijus. One by one, each Wanda is taking on a kaiju with the help of the X-Men nearby, with the help of the Avengers that have been standing by the entire time. We see everybody go in. And so once Wanda was able to reconcile her past, her present, and her future, the monsters, they became much more easier to take down. And with the defeat of all three kaijus, Wanda is now gonna have some big explaining to do. But before she has to go explain anything to anybody, we see the three Wandas, they merge together as one. Their essences coming into our Wanda, all of the memories coming back, and old Wanda letting them know that they have quite a long time to live, that their story is going to be continuing on for quite some time. And this is the rebirth of Scarlet Witch, all of her pieces coming back together, the kaijus now being defeated, and with all of the craziness now being over, she has to answer to the mob. She has to answer to the people about what just happened. And though many people are very excited, Magneto is absolutely thrilled that she has returned. Her boys are super excited to see her as a one again. And so Wanda, she attempts to tell everybody exactly what is happening. First apologizing that she didn't really die. She goes to explain, but no one really wants to hear it, because all they hear is that the kaijus were of her creation. Now Wanda, she truly does want to explain. She wants to tell everyone her side of the story and what has actually transpired here. Emma Frost giving her that opportunity. She begins to divulge who actually killed her. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm not gonna lie, this has been relatively disappointing. I expected a little bit more from this line, from the Trial of Magneto. Now the first two issues, I really did enjoy. Seeing Magneto battle everybody, you know, kind of ended on weird terms. There's lots of different arguments you could have about the opponents he went against, how it would be taken care of, how everyone would handle it, who would be the outcome winner, so on and so forth. We could argue that till we're blue in the face, but for what they did, I didn't hate it. But getting into issue 4, now only having one more issue, this one really did feel like a big filler issue. And I only say that because we started recounting events that had already technically happened in the last issue. You know, and of course, nobody is ever truly dead when it comes to comic books. And that is exactly the case when it comes to the Scarlet Witch. You know, she died at the Hellfire Gala, but she's now saying that she didn't actually die. Something's going on with her magic. We don't really understand what's going on yet. She hasn't really told us yet. We've been dying. We've been on the tip of our toes waiting to get that information. And they have really withheld it this entire time. They're going to probably, more than likely, release it in issue 5. I wouldn't be surprised if they continued to put us on the edge of our seats, put us on that cliffhanger, and wait for the next X-Men line, whatever that's going to be, coming out after this. But it is quite possible that this could be something to do with Merlin, because he is acting up right now. He's been doing a lot of crazy stuff in other worlds, dealing with Excalibur, having an army with the head of it being Arthur. And if we're talking about the magical aspect of things, it quite possibly could have to do something with that. Now, we saw Rogue, we saw Gambit making their arrival here. And so hopefully issue 5 is really going to give us all of the answers that we want moving forward. But I'm going to say this event, it's really going to be not that memorable. It's not something I'm going to look back on and be like, I really need to read that again. You know, we covered this line for what it is, and at the end of the day, I really just feel let down more than anything else. I really, like I said, I expected more. Maybe I have too high of expectations. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.